We're called to order. Called to order. How's everybody doing this morning? Good. Who's being troubled with allergies? Nobody. Nobody. Yeah, it's particularly tough this year. So how many of you are using a neti pot or doing some kind of nasal rinsing? Oh, all the people who had their hands up for allergies. None of the hands went up for the nasal rinsing. So I have to do a little plug for the neti pot or for saline rinsing. Do you all know what that is? Okay, some of you do. I got a couple of like, yeah, I'm not sure. So a neti pot is uh, it looks like a little Aladdin's lamp. It's just this little pot about that big. You fill it with warm water and some salts, and not table salt, but like a special salt. And what you do is you lean over the sink in the bathroom and you put the spout in the top nostril and you pour a little bit and it rinses your nasal passages and it comes out the bottom. So it just kind of cleans things out a little bit, and then you sort of blow your nose a little bit to get it out. They also have something in a like a plastic squeeze bottle. Yeah, it's a saline rinse. So you can do it that way if the neti pot isn't comfortable for you. Um, most of the issues around allergies is because the little cilia on the inside of your nose, cilia, C-I-L-I-A, they're like little teeny hairs, little teeny fingers, and they're very sticky. And so what happens is when you breathe in, those cilia pick up all the pollens, right? So it doesn't get into your lungs, doesn't get stuck in the back of your throat. When your nose is dry, like in the wintertime, our nose can get dry, or when there's so much pollen in the air that the cilia get like completely overloaded with pollens, they can't pick up anymore. That's when we start to get some symptoms. So believe it or not, just simply rinsing your nasal passages, I do it this time of year twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. But if you can rinse your nasal passages with a little saline, it really makes a huge difference in your allergy symptoms. So, there's no side effects, right? So all the allergy medications you look at that are on,
I have deviated septum, so I tried that Medipod,
yeah,
and immediately I felt like I was underwater.
y-
You know how you get water up your nose?
right.
It was awful, so I have to use that.
You use the spray. Yeah, and the spray is fine. So depending on what you've got, but like I'm thinking of, if you look at the packaging for all of the allergy meds, there's like a whole aisle now in the store for allergy meds. Is that crazy? So you think about medications that you might be on, you think about like symptoms that they might describe. So, you really have to be careful, and you might have to check with your doctor or your pharmacist before you do that. But you don't have to do any of that to use a neti pot or to use the saline rinse. So that's my plug. I'm going to be talking about a little bit more because as things look more and more beautiful out there, it can get harder and harder for those of us who have allergies to enjoy it, except from behind closed doors. So that said, why don't we start doing a little bit of breathing here this morning, if we can. So if you want to come right up to the front edge of your chair and have your feet directly underneath your knees. And let's just place your tripods down. Everybody knows what your tripods are, right? Your heel, your big toe knuckle, and your little toe knuckle. So you want to have the tripods of both feet right down there, and then lift all your toes up, spread them out a little bit, and then place them down really gently so you can feel. Now, if you've got a toe that's crossed over, you've got a little hammer toe or a little claw toe, just do the best you can to keep the toes on the floor. And then if you put a little bit of pressure into your feet, just a little bit, and feel that come up into your legs, and then notice where you are on your backside. Are you kind of leaning forward a little bit in your chair? Are you leaning back a little bit in your chair? Can you get yourself situated so that you're right on your sitting bones, right in the middle of your sitting bones here? And then your shoulders, where are they? Are they forward? Can you bring them back a little bit? And then what about your ears? Are your ears forward? So if you're sitting with your chin forward like this, can you bring your ears in line with your shoulders? So now that you've made all of those adjustments, close your eyes and tune into your breathing. Just notice the way air is moving in and out of your nose. And if you're having difficulty breathing in and out through your nose, try to breathe, at least breathe in through your nose, and then you can blow out through pursed lips like you're blowing out a candle. If you're having some congestion due to the allergies, you might find it a little challenging. Maybe one nostril is a little blocked. So just do the best you can. And notice the rate of your breath. So notice how quickly or slowly you're breathing. Notice how deep or shallow your breath is. So when you breathe in, can you feel movement in your belly? Can you feel movement in your rib cage? Can you feel that movement up into your shoulders? You might feel that movement in several of those parts. You might feel movement in none of those parts. So again, we're just sort of observing what's true. And now let's begin to slow the breath down and to deepen it a little bit. So as you inhale, see if you can slowly and gradually fill your body from the bottom to the top, from your belly all the way to your collarbones. It's like you're blowing up a balloon. And as you exhale, it's like letting air out of that balloon. So you might feel it move from the top all the way down. So again, every breath in is like blowing up a balloon, nice and slow and gradual, getting as full as you can. And every breath out is a gradual release of that air. Breathing in, filling your body from the bottom to the top. Breathing out, emptying from top to bottom. Let's add a little count to the breath. So as you breathe in, can you slowly count in your head to 4? And then as you breathe out, same thing. Can you slowly count to 4? And it might take a little effort to get the breath to match up with the count. But keep that count. With each inhalation, you're slowly counting to 4. And with each exhalation, again, slowly counting to 4. Breathing in to a slow count of 4 and breathing out to a slow count of 4. And after your next exhalation, you can let go of the counting. Go back to your natural breath, whatever that is. Might be a little faster than what you've been breathing, might be a little more shallow. And then take a nice deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. You can let your eyes open, and we're going to start just by rolling the shoulders. So we'll give those shoulders a nice big shrug up and down and around, listening for any noise in there. Shoulders can be a little noisy sometimes. And then reverse the direction. So just going the other way. And then just the right shoulder, bring it up, and then the left. So we're just going to go from side to side here, bringing the shoulder up as close to the ear as it'll come. And the next time you have your right shoulder up toward your ear, you're going to hold that shoulder up, hold it up, 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 and then lower it down. And take the left, bring it all the way up, hold it, breathe, try not to hold your breath, and then lower it down. Good. And now we're going to bring the shoulders forward. So if you could take your shoulders and just kind of roll them forward a little, and then back. So it's forward and back. And try not to bring them up to your ears. So it's just a rolling forward and back. And you'll see, like, you'll feel movement, hopefully, in your upper back, right? So it's kind of this movement. Breathing in, breathing out. So we're getting some shoulder movement in to start this morning. Good. All right. And then let's take that right elbow up and we're going to make some circles. So you might go forward, you might go backwards. Make your circles nice and big here, up and around. And at some point switch the direction. I like to switch when my elbow is down toward the floor because that puts my shoulder in a safer, more stable position to switch. Okay, and then let's move over to the left side. So same thing, just get that elbow, rotate it up and around, breathe in, breathe out. Good. And at some point, hopefully when the shoulder is in a stable position, we're going to switch direction, going up and around. Excellent. Okay, going back to that right side, let's take the right arm, the whole arm, sweep it up and around. So now we're getting the whole arm involved. Bring it all the way up and around. You can even twist your body a little bit if that feels okay this morning. If that makes you feel a little dizzy, you can keep your head steady and just twist your upper body a little bit here. And then the next time your arm is down toward the floor, you're going to switch direction, go the other way, breathing in, breathing out. And if you're working with a shoulder issue, some limitation, or if you've got something going on in your shoulder, just do the best you can with that movement. And then we're going to bring that hand to the lap and go right to the left side. So same thing, nice big circles. You can twist your body a little if you'd like. I love doing this first thing in the morning, especially when I've been sleeping on my side, because my shoulder can get a little bit compressed from lying on it. And then the next time that your arm is down toward the floor, we're going to switch direction, go the other way, go up and around. Good. Excellent. Okay, and then that hand comes down. Let's take both arms and we're just going to sweep them forward, up and around. So it's like this little kind of swimming movement. Whoops, yeah, we might be a little close in here today, right? And we got a full house. I don't think there's an empty chair, so do the best you can with that. Your arms are longer than you think. Next time your arms are down toward the floor, we're going to take them both and switch. Go the other way. How are we doing? Oh, it's harder going the other way, right? Yeah. Don't poke your neighbor's eye out. Good. All right, let's let the arms come down a little bit. All right, let's take that right arm and we're going to bring it out to the side like you're telling somebody to stop, right? So you're just kind of pressing out through the heel of your hand. And keep your hand just a little bit lower than your shoulder. And then we're going to do what I call a swan neck. So you're going to take your wrist and see if you can bring your wrist right into your shoulder, right? So the elbow's down here. So it's like a little swan neck, right? So we're just going in and out. Very lovely movement. Excellent for the nerves in your arm. This is called a nerve glide. So it's creating a little bit more space for the nerves to do their job here. So inhaling and exhaling. Got that lovely swan neck. And then the next time you extend, you're going to hold here. And then you're going to take that arm up overhead, palm of the hand up toward the ceiling. So you're reaching up toward the ceiling. And then remember the old telephones? Remember before we had them in our pockets, right? So see if you can take your hand down like you're answering the phone. The palm of your hand is like the phone, right? So you got the palm and your thumb. You could like put your thumb on your nose, yeah? And then go up and all the way down. We're going to do that a few times. So this can be a little tricky to do, so do the best you can. Go up as high as you can, bend your elbow. Try not to like twist your body to accommodate it. Just do the best you can to get the hand where it can go. If you can only get your hand to the top of your head, you know, if your hand goes here, great. Maybe next time you can go a little bit closer. So do the best you can. This is the last time. We're going to go all the way down. Whew. Shake that out a little bit. Let's go to the other side. We're going to do that stop movement here. So press out strongly through the heel of your hand, and then keeping the hand a little bit lower than the shoulder, we're going to bend and come into that little swan neck and out. So it's just this really nice, easy gliding movement, right? So when you extend, you want to lift your fingers up and press out through the heel of your hand. You might be feeling a lot of sensation in the arm, right? So it could be in the elbow, it could be in the upper arm or the forearm, depending on where we're a little bit tight. And the next time that you're out there saying stop, we're going to take that hand up, bring it up overhead, and then answer the phone on that side. See if you can bring it forward. So again, your thumb like could touch your nose, right? And up and all the way down. We'll do that a few times. So sit up nice and tall, breathe in, breathe out. Do the best you can. So even if you're limited here, the more you can explore your available range of movement, the more that range can change, right? So you can increase your range of movement. Last time, you guys. Up, answering that phone, and back down. Good. Shake that out a little bit. Okay, take your right hand, thumb and forefinger together. We're going to come out to the side. And then we're going to bring that arm up overhead. And we're going to take the thumb and forefinger and see if you can put it right up to your eye, like you're making an eyeglass. And for those of you with eyeglasses, you might want to take them off, right? Yeah. I'm spying everybody here, right? There we go. Come all the way up and down. Let's try that again. So take the thumb and forefinger together, go out to the side, palm of the hand up toward the ceiling, and then you turn the fingers down toward your chin and see if you can get your thumb and forefinger up to your eye. Now, if you can't get it there, just do the best you can, right? Yeah. Looks like everybody's got a good little spyglass going out there. Excellent. And then lift up and all the way down. Whew, shake that one out. Let's go to the other side. Let's see if the other side can do that same movement. So thumb and forefinger, bring it out to the side, come up overhead, bend your elbow, see if you can get your finger and your thumb right up to a little spyglass there. Might be different on this side, right? Oh yeah. Come up and all the way down. Don't forget to breathe, right? Try that one more time. Good. Good. Yeah, I know it's tempting to do that, right? Yeah, we want to get that elbow up. If it's not like, if it doesn't feel weird, you're probably not doing it right. It should feel really strange. Okay, let's just see, just for fun, we'll do both at the same time. Let's see if we can do that. We'll make binoculars. So come out to the sides. Go up overhead. It's like your fingers are going to touch up here, right? Your fingers are able to touch up there, and then just bring them down. This is like a little mask. You guys look really funny. Good. And then let's release that. Whoa, let's shake that all out. Okay, we did a lot of work for the shoulders and the arms. How are they feeling? Warmed up? Warmed up and ready to go. We're going to shift gears completely, and we're going to go right down to the feet. So look down at those beautiful toes. If they're in your socks, that's okay too. So let's see. Let's start with the tripods on the floor, and we're just going to lift and lower all the toes. Just lift and lower all the toes. Kind of like you're listening to a little music. You're just kind of lifting and lowering your toes. And notice, so you can look down and notice if your toes are kind of all lifting together. When they lift up, does one toe cross over? Does one toe like move away from the others? Same thing when you lower down. Do you have toes that kind of overlap? Do they cross over? Okay. And the next time you lift all your toes, I'm going to have you hold them there. So lift them up and hold them up. And you're still on your tripods. So you got your heel and you got your big toe knuckle and your little toe knuckle on the floor. And now spread your toes out really wide and then see if you can bring them together without putting them on the floor. Right? So spread the toes really wide. They're lifted. And I'll do it with my hands if you're having trouble seeing. So if I'm spreading my toes like this, and then you're going to bring them together just like you do your fingers. And if it's helpful for you to do that with your hands to help instruct your feet, go ahead and do that. Because your toes have that ability. Your toes have that capability. Well, they have the infrastructure. Let's put it that way. The building blocks are there. And this is a tough one, right? Yeah. Are you breathing? No? Give that a try. Try breathing. That's a good one to add. Okay, and then lower everything down and relax everything. Notice that your arms just relaxed, your jaw relaxed, your face relaxed. All right, let's try this. Let's lift up just the big toes and keep all your little toes down. And then we're just going to tap the big toes, lift and lower. So again, I'll just use my hand for those in the back. So I'm just lifting and lowering my big toes. Lifting and lowering. And your big toes and your thumbs have a lot in common. Yeah. So they're kind of in terms of their joint structure, you have 2 joints in your thumb and you have 2 joints in your big toes. And all your other fingers, you have 3 joints, and all your other toes, you have 3 joints. So isn't that interesting, huh? So just lifting and lowering. There we go. And your big toes and your thumbs are the only digits that have their own names. So relax all that. So your thumb is called the pollicis. The others are called fingers, right? Your toes, your big toe is called hallucis, and the others are called your toes. Okay, so now keep all your toes, keep your big toes on the floor, and lift and lower all of the other toes. So hallucis is on the floor, and all the other ones are lifting and lowering. So you're just kind of tapping just the little toes, not the big toes. And it's harder to keep those big toes on the floor, yeah? Yeah. Because usually they're the guy in charge. Okay. Take a breath. All right, let's lift all the toes. Spread them out a little bit. Keep all your little toes lifted. Tap and lift your big toes. Just the big ones. And don't do it by bringing your knees in. Right? So knees stay stable. And if you're looking, notice if the other toes are trying to get in on the action, right? They're trying to get down there too. And maybe they do go down there. So again, our structure is set up that this is its function. We should be able to do this with our structure. Of course, there's lots of things that limit that. Okay, and then lifting all the toes. We're going to keep the big toes lifted now and lower all the little toes and lift. So we're just tapping all the little toes, but the big toes are staying steady. Can you lift those big toes really high? Like really high. And can you breathe while you're doing all this? Nope. Too many things to do at once, right? Okay. And lower that down. Whew. Notice that you're more aware of your feet now, right? Yeah, something going on down there that wasn't going on 5 minutes ago. Let's raise all the toes one more time. Spread them out nice and wide. And then see if you can press your big toes and your baby toes down, but none of your middle toes. And then lift everything up. So again, you're lifting all your toes, you're spreading them really wide, and then you're pressing just your big toes and just your baby toes, but not your middle toes. And then lifting them up. Again, our structure is set up for us to be able to do this in some fashion, right? Yeah. Do that a couple more times. So you're lifting, spreading the toes, big toes down, baby toes down, none of the middle toes are down. And if you're feeling your arch start to cramp, you're probably doing it right. Yeah, because you're probably waking something up in there that hasn't been awake for a while. If this is relatively easy for you, then you wouldn't feel that arch cramp, right? Okay, one more time. And then relax all your toes. Whew, how did that go? Good? Let's tap it out a little bit. So for those of you who've been doing this for a while, do you find it's getting a little easier? No. Honest answer. I like that. Okay, let's stretch the bottoms of the toes. So come up on the right foot or come up on the toes of the right foot and then see if you can get your toe knuckles to the floor. And then come right up on the toes and then go and bring the knuckles to the floor. So I'll show you. So it's like coming up on the toes. Can you see that? I'm up on my toes like a ballerina, right? And then I'm going to go to like a Barbie foot, right? So it's like a ballerina to a Barbie. How's that? Yeah. So we're exercising some of those little tiny muscles in the toes, getting some movement in those little toe joints. All right, and now take the top of your foot and turn it onto the floor. Oh, that was a good crack over there. That was nice. I like that. So like that. Okay, and then let's go to the other foot. So same thing. Let's come up, right up like a ballerina, right on the tippy toes, and then go to like a Barbie foot. And then the tippy toes and the Barbie foot. Did you all see the Barbie movie? No? Some, yeah. Did you love when she took her shoes off and her foot stayed up there? I was like, we have exercises for that, Barbie. We can fix that. That was great. Okay, and then let's take the top of the foot and put it on the floor and stretch through the top of the foot. Excellent. All right, let's release that a little bit. Okay, we're going to come about halfway upstream. So sitting forward on your chair, bring your feet a little wider than your hips, and make sure your sitting bones have good purchase on your chair. So the chairs have like a little hill. I call it like a little hill, right? It comes up, up, up. So you don't want to be on the front of the hill. You want to be a little on the back of the hill. Because if you're on the front of the hill when we're doing this, you might slide off. I'd rather you slide back than slide forward. Okay, so with your feet on the floor and your hands on your thighs, think about your back staying nice and tall. And we're going to hinge from the hips. So if you actually take your hands and put your hands right where your legs and your body meet, like right down. If you take your hands, place them on your thighs and slide them right up to here. It's right here. So with your hands in that position, so your hands are on your legs and your fingers are facing in, we're going to lean forward and see if you can pin your hands. Does that make sense? And then come back up. So you're keeping your spine nice and tall as you come forward and back. And go way back. So you're kind of leaning back like you could touch the back of the chair. Right? So breathe in and breathe out as you're doing this. So we're getting a little bit of movement in the hip joints. Right? So just warming things up a little bit here. Warming things up. Good. Breathing in, breathing out as you come forward and back. Good. Okay, and the next time you're forward, you're going to stay here. Lengthen your spine a little bit more. So you can be in this diagonal position and still lengthen the spine. And then come all the way up. Excellent. Okay, release your hands. Scoot your backside over to the right side of your chair a little bit. And we're going to warm up the hip going out and in. So using your heel and your toes, walk the foot out, and then walk the foot back. I like to hold on to my chair with my left hand so I don't go sliding off onto the floor. It can be, again, depending on your pants. Sometimes the pants can be a little more slippery, right? Could give you that feeling like you can't stay there. Next time you have your foot way out to the side, we're going to hold it here. And with the foot out here, we're going to drop the knee in and then pull it back. So we're way out at our range, right? So we're dropping the knee in and then pulling back. And you can come up onto the inside edge of your foot if you'd like. So that's getting up into the hip. If I kept the inside, or if I kept the foot flat on the floor, I'd be getting a little more work in my ankle. But I'm trying to get some work into the hip. So the next time you're pulling your knee back toward the back wall, I'm going to ask you to hold it there. Keep pulling that knee really strongly toward the back wall. Press down into your sitting bones and lengthen your spine. Breathe in, breathe out. Take your left hand to the chair, slide it way back there, and then see if you can gently twist your body. You could even take your right hand and just place it on your left thigh. Don't pull, so you don't want to like really pull yourself because that could make you twist in a way that your spine isn't ready to deal with. It's just like a little gentle support to be able to do this. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep pulling that knee toward the back wall. Don't let it come forward. And then slowly unwind your upper body. Good. Let's take that foot and we're going to walk it about halfway back to home. So it's not all the way back next to the other one. Now from here, we're going to rotate in and out and in and out. Good. Couple of those. Great. And then we're going to scoot back toward the center of the chair, keeping this right foot a little bit away from the left. We're going to do a little bit of rotation here. So lift your right foot, bring it out to the side a little bit and down as we make a circle. You can hold onto your chair with your left hand. Try not to lean as you're doing this, right? So try not to lean to the side. You want to keep your body upright. Both sitting bones are on the chair, right? So that means both cheeks even on the chair. And then the next time your foot is down, we're going to switch the direction. So go the other way really slowly. So the slower you go, the more you're using the muscles to get this done as opposed to using momentum. How about one more rotation here? Good. And then can you take that leg and cross it right over the other one? So we have the knee on top of the knee. Now if you can't get your knee on top of your knee for whatever reason, you can cross at the ankle. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to pull the inner thighs together. So squeeze your inner thighs together and then relax. And squeeze and relax. And as you're doing this, when you squeeze your inner thighs, you should feel your butt muscles engage and you should feel yourself get a little taller, right? And then you relax and you get a little shorter. So breathing in, breathing out, we're squeezing and relaxing. Excellent. One more time. Good. Next time you squeeze, I'm going to have you hold here. And then you're going to bring your belly button down toward your thigh. Right? And then come all the way back up. So you're still squeezing your thighs together. And we're coming forward and back up. And breathing in and breathing out. Excellent. Good. There should be all kinds of awakening happening here in the hips and the thighs, right? Excellent. Okay, how about one more time? And then come all the way up and relax your body. Take this leg, we're going to slide the ankle on top of the knee. Now you'll have to walk your left foot out a little bit so that your foot is underneath that left knee. If this doesn't work for you, so if having the ankle crossed on top of the knee doesn't work, you can cross down at the ankle. So once again, let's take if your ankle is crossed on top of your knee, you're going to take your toes of your right foot and bring them toward your shin, right? So in other words, like that, not like this, but like that. So we're bringing the toes toward the shin, sitting up nice and tall, right? Both sitting bones equal on the chair, and we're going to come forward a little bit and then come back, okay? So breathing in, breathing out. Coming forward, so we all should be feeling a little something happening here in this right hip, right side of the body. Yep. If you're feeling comfortable with it and you want to stay in the stretch, you can come forward and kind of hang out. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Just kind of holding here. Notice what you feel in that right side. Maybe it's the hip, maybe it's the knee, it could be the thigh, could be down into the lower leg even, right? So we often think of our bodies as being very linear, right? So I contract this muscle and it brings my heel to my butt, or it brings it extends my knee. But every movement in our body is rotational. There's rotation in every movement. So when we come forward in a stretch like this, it might not feel like we think it should. It can be very rotational in through the thigh. It can be very rotational down through the knee. And then come all the way back up. Excellent. Yep, so same thing. You're just coming forward. Yep, just coming forward. Great. Okay, so now let's do this. Let's lean back a little bit. Put your hands on the chair. And then we're going to extend both legs and point your toes. And let your legs get as long as they can. And notice if your right leg is longer than your left leg. Are your right toes out there a little bit more than your left? Yes? No? If no, you got to repeat that whole series on the right side, because we're all moving on to the left. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go over to the left side, and we're going to start just by walking that foot out and walking it back. That's okay. You just go the other way now. That's fine. Right? So if you did the left last time and you want to do the right this time, I like that. That's creative, right? You know your body, you know what you want to do. Okay. And the next time that foot gets all the way out there, you're going to hold it out there and then drop the knee forward and then pull the knee toward the back wall. So we're just dropping it forward and pulling it back. So you want to have your leg out to the side enough that when you pull the knee toward the back wall, it's not going backwards. It's actually just coming up straight. So if it's going backwards, that means your foot is a little too close this way. It's got to go out a little farther. So it should be a real challenge. In other words, when you try and pull toward that back wall, you should feel that in the side of the hip, the side of the leg, somewhere in that side of the body. So breathing in, breathing out. Good. And your foot, your heel, by the way, is underneath your knee. So check that your foot isn't way out here. It's got to be underneath your knee. Yep. And the next time that you pull the knee toward the back wall, you're going to hold there. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Take your right hand, slide it on the chair toward the back of the chair, and then we're going to twist to the right. You can even take your left hand, place it on the outside of your left thigh. Just a little assist. So again, you're not really pulling and kind of cranking on your back. You're just giving it a little bit of an assist here. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep pulling that knee toward the back wall. Good, and then you can slowly unwind. Great. Let's take that foot and we're going to walk it in about halfway from where it was to directly with the other leg, and then we're going to go in and out a few times. So in and out, just getting a little bit of rotation, a little bit of rotational movement there in that hip joint. So your hip joint, I've talked about this before, your hip joint is actually where your leg comes into your pelvis, right? So that's the joint itself, and that's what we're rotating here. Okay, and then we're going to bring that in a little bit, and we're going to slide a little bit closer to the center of the chair, and then we're going to do some circles here with this leg. So circling up and around. Breathing in, breathing out, nice and slow with this. You can use your hands to stabilize yourself if you'd like. And then reverse the direction. Right, going up and around, good. And then let's see if we can get that leg and cross it right over the other one. So we've got the left leg on top of the right knee, stacked on top of knee. If that doesn't work for you, you can cross here at the ankle. So we're going to do that squeezing of the inner thighs again, and then relaxing. So it's a squeezing of the inner thighs, and you should feel your body rise up a little bit because you want to squeeze the thighs. You want to squeeze the back of the legs as well, so you feel your bum, your butt muscles kind of engage a little bit. So we're squeezing and releasing. And squeezing and releasing and breathing in and breathing out. Okay, one more time. All right, and then we're going to take that ankle now and we're going to cross the ankle on top of the knee. So again, if on this side, if your ankle and your knee don't really care for each other, you can bring your ankles right together. Okay, so same thing, we're going to take the toes and bring them toward the shin. as best you can. That just activates the muscles in the front of the lower leg, and it stretches the muscles in the back of the lower leg. And I like to do stretch like this. I like to do it with part of the leg loaded like this, as opposed to just completely relaxed. And then we're going to kind of hinge forward like you're trying to bring your navel down onto your shin and then come back up. So your right foot should be directly underneath your knee so that it's supporting you. So when you come forward, you feel the support of that foot underneath. So try not to round through your back. Try not to hunch your shoulders. We really want to make this a movement from the hip itself. We want to make it a movement from the hip joint or the hip joints, because we're using both at the same time. Okay, so maybe the next time you come forward, you kind of hang out here a little bit and notice what you feel on this side. Is it different than the other side? Maybe you felt it more in the knee on the other leg. Maybe you feel it more in the hip on this side, or maybe that's the reverse. Perhaps it's more intense on one side than the other. And that's often the case too. So the legs that we tend to favor bending, it will generally have a different feel. So for me, this side is more comfortable in this position. I like to sit on this foot at the stool in my kitchen. I like to kind of tuck my foot under like a bird. But the other leg could not do that if you paid me. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, and then come all the way up. Good. Let's lean back a little bit. We're going to uncross the legs. Hold on to your chair. Extend both legs. Point your toes. Look down there. Hopefully everybody's the same length. Yeah, we back to the same length? Okay, good. If you're not, then you got a little bit of work to do to get that evened up. All right, let's go back to that upper body a little bit. So we're going to take the right arm and we're going to circle the right arm up and around. And when that arm comes down toward the floor, we're going to circle the left arm up and around, right? So see if you can do this kind of going backwards. It's like the backstroke, nice and slow, right? Like a windmill, yeah, like a windmill. Good. And breathe as you're doing this, right? Okay. Let's get everybody down toward the floor. So everybody down toward the floor, and then we're going to take that left arm now, we're going to circle it forward. And as you circle the left arm forward, now circle the right arm forward, right? So this is like the crawl, right? The English crawl. Yeah. You all remember that from swimming lessons? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so let's bring both arms down. So that, when we move the arms in that kind of fashion, that's called a syncopated rhythm. So we're synchronizing the movement. And now we're going to try and unsynchronize that and go with one arm forward. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. So one arm forward, right arm forward. And at some point, you're going to add the left arm going backwards. So the right arm's forward and the left arm is backwards. Now, if it's easier to do, okay, right arm goes forward and then left arm goes backward. Right arm goes forward, left arm goes backward. So we can kind of do it that way, right? Right arm forward, left arm backwards. And then see if you can get them going without that stop. Yeah, I see some dog paddles out there. Okay, and then let's everybody get down toward the floor, right? So we have the right arm going forward. Now let's take the left arm and go forward, right? And we'll take the right arm and go backwards. And breathe as the right arm comes forward and the left arm goes backwards. Good, keep breathing. And then at some point, if you want to make it additive, you can just kind of circle one back and one forward, right? And if you close your eyes, it makes no difference at all. Good. Okay, and then let those arms come down. Whew. Okay, how was that movement when you had the right arm going forward and the left arm going backwards? Was that easier than the left arm going forward and the right arm going backwards? Yes? No? I have no idea because I wasn't paying attention. Didn't know you were going to ask that question, right? Right. So these are movements that are just unusual, right? These are not movements you do every day. So anything that's unusual is challenging, right? So your brain is trying to work, your breathing kind of slows down or gets really shallow. The rest of your body says, "Hey, wait a minute, what's going on here?" So there's like tension created in your body. So do these kind of weird things on a regular basis, right? So if you're sitting down somewhere, try doing this kind of syncopated or unsyncopated rhythm, right? At a wedding, yes. Just make sure it's near the end of the wedding when everybody's in their cups. So then you can say, "I wasn't doing that." Yeah. They'd be impressed if they could see that, right? They would definitely be impressed. All right, so let's take the right arm and bring it out to the side with your palm facing down. And you're going to use your thumb as a little bit of a steering wheel here. So we're going to twist the arm so that the thumb goes down and around. And can you get the palm of your hand up toward the ceiling? Maybe. Are you way over here trying to do it? See if you can do it without leaning way over. Okay, and then unwind, come all the way back, and see if you can get the palm of your hand to go toward the back wall. Right? Okay, let's roll it forward. So we're just trying to explore that end range. Now, if your elbow is super straight and it's causing you some problem, give a little bend in the elbow. That's okay. If your shoulder's way up here by your ear, please drop your shoulder down. Give it a little bit of a break. So we're just rotating the arm so that the palm comes way up toward the ceiling with the thumb behind you, and then the palm goes way toward the back of the room. Now, just notice what your range is here, right? So the next time you have your palm up toward the ceiling with your thumb behind you, notice, like take a little snapshot. What does that look like? What does that range look like? And then go the other way and notice, what does that look like? How much range do I have there? So we're just assessing without any value judgment to it, right? So let that go. Whew, give that a little break. Take your left arm, same thing. So start with your palm facing down, and then we're going to rotate so the palm comes up, and then we're going to rotate so the palm goes toward the back of the room. Got it? So again, little bend in the elbow to take some of the stress off the elbow joint. Keep that shoulder down away from your ear, so we definitely don't want to create like more tension up toward the top of the shoulder. And now we're going to do the same thing. Just evaluate. So with the palm facing up with the thumb behind you, where is that rotation? And then the other way with the palm facing behind, how far is that rotation? And then let that go. Did you notice a difference, one arm to the other? Yeah, one arm has a little bit more. Okay, so let's do this, you guys. Let's take your right arm out to the side with your palm facing down. Take your left arm out to the side with your palm facing down. Shoulders down away from your ears. We're going to turn the right arm so that the thumb goes toward the back of the room and palm comes up toward the ceiling. And we're going to take the left arm, turn the palm up toward the ceiling, and the palm toward the back, right? So it's just, if you look at your right and you look at your left, they're in opposite positions, right? Got that? And then let's unwind and go the other way. Right? Ooh, interesting, isn't it? Yeah. You can hear your shoulder cracking. Yeah. There's some stuff going on there, huh? Okay. So the next time that you turn your left palm up toward the ceiling, I'm going to have you move your upper body in that direction and breathe. Right? Don't let your bum come off the chair, though. And then we're going to go the other way, and we're going to lean a little bit, just the upper body to the left. How we doing? Okay. Are you breathing? Everybody's face is a mixture of confusion and pain. So see if you can just relax into this. So we're just going one side to the other. Relax your elbows a little bit. Yeah, and you don't have to go like to your complete end of range here. So we're just trying to get a little bit of movement in there. Good, I know this is hard. One more time on each side. Good. Excellent. And then let your hands come down to your lap. Whew, close your eyes. Well, good morning, shoulders and arms. And just notice what you feel here. So with your hands resting on your thighs, notice what you sense in your forearms, in your wrists. Notice what you sense in your elbows and your upper arms and your shoulders. Maybe you feel something up into your neck or your chest or even into your upper back. Take a couple of breaths in and out. Let your eyes open. Bring your feet a little wider apart than your hips. And then let's see if we can get the elbow and forearm, the right elbow and forearm down onto the thigh. So it's kind of like you're leaning over to this side. And we're going to take the left arm and raise it up overhead. Good. And then bring that arm down. So we're just going to do this a few times. So as you raise that arm up, see if you can open your left shoulder a little bit. It's like you got a little bit of a twist going on here. You're trying to pull your left shoulder back and behind. And it's like if you looked out under your under your left armpit, right? It's that kind of movement. Breathing in and breathing out. Just a couple more. Excellent. How about one more? Because that's 2. And 2 is a couple. Last time I checked. Take your left hand to your thigh and push yourself up. Good. And now take your left elbow and forearm down onto that left leg. So keep your back nice and straight and take the right arm up and over and back down. So we're just doing this little movement. Coming up and over. Now if your elbow, your shoulder, your arm doesn't allow you to bring that arm all the way up, that's okay. You're just going to move the best you can here. So the next time you're up, it's like you could look out under that armpit and then come all the way down. And then we're going to shift the weight into the right hand and come all the way up. Good. All right, let's roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down a couple of times. Excellent. And then we're going to relax that a little bit. And we're going to go back down to the lower body for a moment. So we worked on the feet and the ankles. We worked on the hips, and we didn't do a lot for the knees yet. So we're just going to do a little bit of movement for those knees. So if you hold onto your chair right alongside your body, we're going to bend the knee like you could bring your heel to touch the bottom of the chair. So I'm going to ask you to hold that there. Squeeze the back of that leg. And then slowly extend your leg. And as you extend your leg, you're going to bring your toes toward your shin, right? So it's like you could touch your toenails on your shin. So we're going to bend that knee like you could bring the heel back to the chair. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. We're holding it there now, holding it back there. Breathing in, breathing out. And then extending out, pressing out through the heel. Hold it there. And as you're holding this leg, we're going to rotate the leg in and out. So you look at your foot, and it's like a windshield wiper. It's going back and forth. If this is too much, if your leg is just like way too heavy to do this right now, just put your heel on the floor. You can do that. If you can keep your leg raised, you're going to get a lot more benefit in the thigh muscles here. Good. How about one more time, rotating in and out? Great. And then we're going to bend that knee and bring the foot to the floor. Go right to the other side. So let's pull that heel in toward the bottom of the chair. Squeeze the muscles in the back of that leg. Breathe in, breathe out. So we're holding here in this flexed position. Squeezing, squeezing. And then extend, slowly extend. Bring your toenails toward your shin and hold. And breathe. And lift that leg a little higher. So your hands are here to help support your spine. So you don't want to be like collapsing into your spine. You want to have your hands giving you a little bit of support, and then bend that knee. Bring the heel under like you could kick the bottom of the chair. Holding here, breathing in, breathing out. Extending the leg. Good. Yeah, lots of little knee noises out there, right? And then we're going to rotate the leg in and out. So looking at your foot, it's like a windshield wiper on a big long lever, right? It's got a windshield wiper on a big long lever. Breathing in, breathing out. Excellent. Okay, let's bring that foot down to the floor. Let's give the thighs a little massage here because we did some work for the thighs. All right, and then make yourself comfortable. So you can do that either right here at the front of your chair, if you want to sit into the back of your chair, if your body is like had enough. You can sit into the back of your chair and close your eyes. take a moment just to scan your body. Notice where you can relax a little more. So where are you still holding some tension? Is there tension in your neck or shoulders? Is there tension in your jaw? And what about your arms and hands? Are you gripping your legs or are your hands kind of clasped together? See if you can relax your hands, relax your fingers. Hands do a lot of work for us, you guys. We hold a lot of tension in our hands. The other place we hold a lot of tension we're not aware of is in our face. So relax your face a little bit, as strange as that might sound. So you might bring a little space between your upper teeth and lower teeth. Let your tongue relax in the bottom of your mouth. If the muscles around your eyes are like engaged, you'll feel like a little squinting. You might feel it in your nose. Your nose might feel a little squinty, or your forehead might feel a little squinty. See if you can let that go too. And for a lot of us, it's just a habit. We just kind of hold our faces in that position and we're not even aware that we're doing it. And then notice other parts of your body. So are your legs tense or tight? Are your feet tense or tight? And is your mind tense or tight? So we think about the mind being preoccupied. Always something going on up there, something that we're gnawing on, right? The mind likes to perseverate. Thoughts, kind of those thoughts that don't really amount to much. Like if you think of your thoughts as real important thoughts are like, how can I bring world peace into existence? That's a really important thought. And then less important thoughts are, how long do I have to boil those potatoes? Right? That's like really, really insignificant thought. So somewhere between there, that's where our thoughts tend to wander. And the more mundane the thought, so the more potato-like the thought, the more the mind goes toward that, because it's like junk food, right? The mind wants junk food. It's just going to go towards those silly little things. And then we just pick one and we like to stick with it. Especially thoughts that evoke an emotion for us. So if something is making us angry or upset, that's the real junk food. We want to go toward that. So just notice. And you can notice this without judging yourself, without judging your thoughts. You're just saying, isn't that interesting? There's that thought again. So this is a good practice. When you notice your thoughts like that, a good practice is to turn your awareness to your breath. So let the thoughts just keep doing whatever they're doing, and you start focusing on your breath. Notice how the air moves in and out. Notice the sensation of the air as it moves in and out through your nose. Can you feel the air moving? Maybe you feel it by its warmth and coolness, right? So as you breathe in through your nose, you can feel like the coolness of that inhaled air. And as you breathe out, you can feel the air a little bit warmer. Maybe you notice that one nostril is more open, so you get a little more airflow through one side than the other. And maybe you can even notice the air as it moves into the back of your throat, right? So it goes up into your nose and it goes down into the back of your throat as it makes its way down into your lungs. So if your tongue is plastered to the roof of your mouth, you won't be able to feel this. If you can relax your tongue, breathe in and out through your nose, you may start to feel the air as it hits the back of your throat. And you might notice that your mind is trying to distract you. And the mind can distract you with thoughts. It can distract you in other ways like, oh, I need to move my body, or I need to scratch this, or I need to kind of touch this part of my thigh or this part of my shoulder. So can you let your mind, your awareness, focus on something as simple and uninteresting as your breath. For the mind that likes junk food, the breath is really boring. There is nothing fantastical happening here with the breath. And deepen your breathing. As you breathe in, can you feel your body expanding like a balloon? And as you breathe out, can you feel that balloon of your body letting the air out gradually? Breathing in, breathing out. And take your hands to your chest. Take a deep breath in, let it out with a sigh so that you can feel it vibrate under your hands. And then if you'd like, just take a moment in appreciation for being here today, for breathing, which is fundamental to everything else. And then maybe opening your eyes and just a little appreciation for all these great folks who are here today. Everybody's here. Yay. Good. You're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. See you all next time.